Today's episode is sponsored by Limble. Visit them at limblecmms.com.
Hello and welcome to Advanced Manufacturing Now, the podcast for manufacturing professionals. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to get new episodes delivered to your inbox each week. I'm your host, Cary Gitter, Associate Editor at SME Media, and I'm joined today by Bryan Christiansen, CEO of Limble. Welcome to the show. Our topic today is maintenance that works, why usability drives manufacturing success. So, Bryan, let's get right into it. On a foundational level, why is usability such a critical factor in maintenance technology today?
Yeah, so it's huge because no matter how powerful the tool is, if you don't know how to use it or can't use it, you can't get the value out of it. And that's been a recurring theme through a lot of the CMMS history. CMMSs and EMs have been around for decades. But historically, because they were so difficult to use, especially on the maintenance technician point of view, from the maintenance technician point of view, the adoption was always a huge problem. So a lot of great functionality, but if your team's not doing it, they're not logging their work orders, none of that data is getting into the system that allow you to take advantage of that functionality.
Great, thank you. And so Limble CMMS has one of the highest adoption rates in the industry. And what design principles at your company make that possible?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty simple. And it's go meet the customers, go shake the hands of the technicians, actually see what their day is like. And as soon as you go out and do that, all of a sudden, a bunch of really obvious things jump out. I remember when I started Limble, I went out and started talking with maintenance managers and directors of maintenance and whatnot, learned a bunch of great information, and then decided, you know what, I'm actually going to go meet the technicians. I went and started shaking the hands with the technicians, and right out of the gate, I noticed something incredibly important. So my background is full stack engineering, software engineering to be specific. My hands are designed to work on keyboards. They're skinnier. They can fly over a keyboard, makes me be able to code super fast. But when I shook the hands of the technicians, I realized, holy shit, they've bashed their fingers with hammers. Their thumbs are like twice the size of mine. And it's because of the work they do versus the work I do. And so I immediately went back to our mobile app design and said, okay, the buttons got to be bigger. You know, they have different hands than I do. And so when I was coding originally, looking at the mobile application, I was originally designing it for my hands, and just simply going out into the field, shaking the hands with the technicians, I was able to get a really obvious insight that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And so that basic principle of go meet your customers, go shake their hands, see how their life unfolds and what they're doing day to day is a very, very, very important design principle.
And so along those same lines, how does Limble balance innovation like your AI initiatives with those practical needs that maintenance teams face on a shop floor?
Yeah, so we like to look at tech. We like to look at any problem as what's the job to be done and find out the problem before we find the solution. And so AI is a great solution, but if you have it trying to solve a thing that isn't a problem, it's not gonna do any good. Value is delivered when problems are solved. So we look at, okay, what jobs need to be solved? What jobs need to be done? And so, for example, setting one of our AI initiatives is helping the job to be done of setting up PMs quicker. So a new manufacturer brings on Limble. One of the first things it has to do is build out its PM plan. Going and finding all the manuals, reading the manuals, pulling all of that, the PM information out and manually putting it inside Limble is a very time-consuming task, or at least used to be. When AI came out and we looked at this, we realized, wow, we can actually significantly reduce the amount of time it takes to do this job by having AI read the manuals, pull out the PMs and whatnot. We decided this is the right AI initiative to deploy here. But honestly, if there was other tech outside of AI that would solve this job to be done, we would have used that other tech. And so we try not to look at, what's hip or hot and whatever on the technology. Instead, we look what's the job to be done and what's the appropriate tech to solve it. And it just happens that AI is giving us the ability to solve a lot more problems than ever before.
And manufacturers, obviously are at much different stages of sophistication when it comes to digital technology. So what challenges do you see manufacturers facing in introducing digital tools within their organizations, and how can they improve that technician adoption and kind of get over some of those hurdles?
Yeah, the first and foremost is pick a great CMMS. The technology that you pick, if you focus on ease of use, mobile friendly, a lot of great customer success support, that will make the technology adoption significantly easier. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I started Limble. When I looked at all of the CMMSs that were out there 10 years ago, I realized that they're all just way too difficult to use. And the problem when I was interviewing maintenance managers and maintenance directors was my team just wouldn't adopt it. And when I really dug into the nitty-gritty details, it was obvious that CMMSs, the old CMMSs, were not designed with ease of use at the forefront. And so my big theory, which turned out to be true, is if we make something that's easy to adopt, easy to use, and still has that power and functionality, it'll be a raving success. And so, first point is just pick a really good CMMS. If you have that's focused on ease of use, that will make the entire journey significantly easier. Now, once you've picked a good CMMS, you want to make sure that there's a great success team and an action plan in place, because setting up CMMSs, it's not like a one-day initiative. And even with things like our AIPM builder and whatnot, it's going to take a couple of weeks to really get it the way that you want to go. Now, that's significantly better than months or even years of other CMMSs, but there's still work. So you need an action plan. And ideally, you're working with your CMMS provider's success team to help make sure that you execute on that. And so with that proper action plan, you'll be able to roll out the right assets, the right PMs, the right training for your team, and really go off, have it go off without a hitch. And we've done this with thousands of customers, and it's a really game changing when you do get that technology adopted.
And so, can you share some of those examples of how you've seen the usability of CMMSs impact uptime, safety on the plant floor, other success metrics that you've observed?
Yeah, I mean, we have a whole ton on our YouTube channel to plug that just a tad. There's we put a lot of our customer success stories on there, and they're in a wide range of different industries. And so the main trend that they see is a manufacturer before Limble has a very reactive firefighting type situation going on. So operators are, either running over and grabbing the maintenance team, or they're on the radio calling in and saying, "Hey, my press just went down and the production line is no longer working, and now we can't produce the goods." And so the maintenance team is hopping from fire to fire to fire, trying to just keep everything running, which is it's not the right maintenance strategy, especially for a manufacturer. And so they get to Limble, and then very quickly they set up first what we call our work request portals. So these reactive fixes can actually get streamlined and they can be organized so they can solve those quicker. It's very fast to set that up. That's why I normally suggest to set that up first. And then right after that, we set up all of the PMs. Typically, we focus on the top critical assets, the ones that are most problematic or most important to different production lines, that critical point of failure. And then with a matter of a couple months of those PMs being done, you'll see that those reactive tasks start to decrease, which then frees up bandwidth to do more PMs on the next level of criticality of asset. And then over 6 months, maybe 12 months, depending on how fast the customer wants to go, they've now swapped most of their reactive work for preventative work. And so to go to your question, I've seen a bunch of times manufacturers start where 95% of all of their tasks are reactive. Their downtime's through the roof. Their overtime is super high because people are getting called in because things are breaking randomly. And then within a matter of 6 to 12 months, they've flipped that, and now they're doing 90% planned or preventative work and 10% reactive. And then that, of course, impacts the downtime metrics, and they're able to run a much, much, much smoother operation.
Great. And so let's shift and talk a bit more about Limble specifically. So when did you found the company, by the way, Bryan?
It's been a little over 10 years. So 2015.
Great. So looking ahead, what can manufacturers and potential clients expect from Limble in the coming year going forward? And I understand that you have some upcoming design enhancements to the software as well.
Mhm. Yeah, so I mean, there's a whole bunch coming down the pipe. First is there's a new mobile application that we'll be releasing here in just a few months. And this mobile application, we've spent a lot of time and energy, again, having our team actually go out to the plants, walk with the technicians, and really make sure that we nail that user experience. Now, our mobile application today is extremely strong, but that's not good enough. We want the best of the best of the best, and so we decided to reinvent the mobile application and make sure that it's absolutely world class. And so that's coming down the pipe soon. There's a whole bunch of jobs to be done that's being solved via AI that's coming down the pipeline. AI PM builders is one of them. Another job to be done there is significantly lowering troubleshooting time. AI technology is going to be phenomenal for that. And so that ideally will come out in 2026. And then a whole bunch of other really exciting initiatives, better integrations with ERPs, for example, better integrations with predictive maintenance providers like AssetWatch and others. This will help our more sophisticated customers that are further along on their maintenance maturity curve to be able to continue to climb that and, again, get less and less downtime. So there's a whole bunch of exciting things coming out in just the next couple quarters and in 2026.
Yeah, sounds like it. And if you could give some advice, either one piece of advice or more than one piece of advice to maintenance leaders who are currently exploring new tech or beginning this journey, what would that advice be?
Yeah, start now. If you're hesitant or you're wanting to put it off a year or two, the sooner you get the really good technology in place, the sooner you get the value from it. And in this day and age, it's if you aren't embracing technology, it's a huge competitive disadvantage. And so just get started. The new CMMSs like Limble are very easy to use, very friendly, and you can get going really quickly.
And are there any challenges that you would advise leaders to look out for in terms of adoption or implementation that you've seen people run into in this process?
Yeah, there can be a lot of different challenges, which again is why it's important to pick the right CMMS vendor. Because, for example, our customer success managers have seen all the challenges that customers run into on adoption. And so the best thing, because there's a bunch of different challenges you could run into, like executive team not buying in, or your technicians just like needing a culture change on your technicians because they don't want any accountability at all, or IT getting in the way, or whatever the case could be. But again, if you pick the right CMMS that has a team that's going to partner with you, our customer success managers have seen these challenges over and over and can help you navigate through them, or help the maintenance manager that's listening to this podcast help navigate through them. That I can't say there's only one challenge out here. Although I guess as I say that aloud, the biggest challenge is if you pick the wrong vendor that's not going to partner with you, because that is really where people shoot themselves in the foot, honestly.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's less about purchasing a system than about really forming a partnership that's going to be a lasting thing, right?
Yeah, 100%. That's a good way to phrase it. Is if you need to look at the software that you're buying, not a software that you're buying, but a company you're partnering with that is heavily invested in your success.
Right. Great. And is there anything else that you would want to add, Brian, about either Limbo or just CMMS technology in general that you'd want to leave us with?
Just it's a really exciting time. With AI coming out and with all the possibilities, it really does open up the ability to solve way more jobs and drastically improve the life of the maintenance team and the results that they can bring to the manufacturers and other companies. The goal of getting to zero downtime used to be impossible. It's not. I've seen customers get significantly improve, and it's largely in part due to CMMS, and AI is only going to make that significantly more powerful. So it's a great time to set up a CMMS. I strongly suggest people look into it.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all these insights into CMMS technology. Very informative for our audience. certainly we appreciate you taking the time. And one last question. If listeners want to learn more about Limble, where should they go to get more information?
Yeah, we have a lot of spots. So first, our website, Limble, that's LIMBLE.com. You can read a whole bunch on our website about what a CMMS is and just, what Limble is and whatnot. But there's also webinars we do. If you go to our YouTube channel and search for CMMS, you can look at customer stories. We have an amazing community, which is community.limble.com. So you can come and meet other maintenance professionals to network and build connections and learn more about Limble. And so there's a bunch, but come to our website, check us out. Also, our team loves talking to people. So come to our website, start a chat. We're happy to hop on a call, talk through your unique challenge or problems and see how we can help. So just don't be shy.
Great. I'm sure you'll have some folks reaching out to you. And as always, to keep up with the latest manufacturing trends and to hear more podcasts, you can subscribe to our podcast feed and, of course, visit us at advancedmanufacturing.org. Thank you again, Bryan, and thank you to our audience for tuning in.